working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious. I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Check. 1 2 2 2 2 1 1 2. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go live with Lamont King. You are now officially live, and I am Lamont King. Yes. Good to see y'all. We made it. Broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Appreciate you, Lord Jamar. Thank you for that. Good to see y'all. Hey, this is what we do each and every Monday through Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Monday, 6 p.m. to 7 is the time. East Coast. Shout out to everybody watching on the West Coast and worldwide. We do trending topics, celebrity interviews, hilarious commentary, and interesting people. That's what it's all about. So first timers, welcome in. I repeat, offenders, if you will, I appreciate you. Good to see you. Peanut Gallery, as we call it. Thumbs up in the chat. Good to see all of y'all. I don't know what the issue is with Facebook. I'm having some issue, and I have not been able to troubleshoot. It's very interesting, though. For the last, at least the first 3 days of this week, I cannot stream from Facebook. I don't know if it's the application I'm using or if it's the platform itself, Facebook. So I'm glad to see each and everybody chilling with us on YouTube. I'll take it. I need the numbers. All right, we got a lot to cover today. So I want to make sure I shout out our newest patrons. Okay, we are 100% viewer supported by people like you, viewers like you. We can't do anything without your support. You can send it. Cash App, $ Lamont King 06. Anytime during the show, we hit a good punchline and you hear that, or you something thought provoking, and you hear that or something. It was like, oh, I never thought about that. Hey, slide us a loose dollar. You never know. You know, it's like tipping. So go ahead and virtual tip. And I want to acknowledge and salute some virtual tippers from yesterday. Our newest friends of the program. Wait a minute, I gotta get their name, make sure I say it right. You too can get a shout out. And if you got a business, we'll work out something. All right, here we go. Stand by. Stand back and stand by. Denise Sharper, I appreciate you. I don't know if you tuning in today. And Tamiki Jones. All right. So as far as content is concerned, you can get our full shows and bonus clips and exclusive behind the scenes access. Patreon.com, Mr. Lamont King. And and there's that. All right. How's your day? How you feel? Everything good? Is anything weird yet? Mercury in retrograde? Is it a full moon? Y'all waiting for the night? For the debates? Yeah. I read a headline right before I got on, man. They said Mars is going to be the closest it's been in years, and the closest it will be for a few years. I don't know what that means. I don't know if the aliens is pulling up because they want to get a sneak peek. They want to see this shit up close and personal. I don't know what it means, but that was the headline. So if you get your goggles, don't do your Googles, do your goggles, your telescopery, and see Mars up close and personal tonight. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, of course, tonight, 9 o'clock to 10:30 p.m. Eastern will be the first and only vice presidential candidate debate, which is unfortunate. I would have loved to see them, just keep talking again, over and over again, saying the same things over and over. Here's a couple predictions. First of all, I want everybody to settle down. I don't want y'all to get so excited. Don't let it be what it is. Let Kamala do her thing. Don't worry about if she shouts out black folks or Asians or Indians. We gotta stay on code, on page. We it's about policy. Y'all gonna be tuning into the wrong thing. Don't sit there and worry about what she got on, or she look bad, or black girl magic, and don't wait for her to salute her sorors and Divine Nine, because some of y'all that's all you wait for. Listen, I done reached out to Twitter already. I talked to Jack. I said, listen, if any of these hashtags get to flying, black girl magic, she did that, a whole word, he tried it, get him soror. They putting you in Twitter jail for 60 days. We already had the conversation. I'm laying the hammer down. We ain't got time for that. We got to be dialed in. It's about tangibles. It's about tangibles. All right. So there's that. But I guarantee you, though, I saw Pence do a sit down with Lindsey Davis on ABC News, and he literally, here's another prediction. He literally did not answer any one of her questions, and she was fielding him some outstanding questions, pertinent information, very direct, and he BS'd her the entire interview. So I say that to say that's what you're going to see tonight. So no surprises. And then just got word that they're allowing Kamala to have the plexiglass up. They put up a little fight. Pence's people put up a fight, which I don't understand. Like, y'all are currently spiking COVID rates, and you're putting up resistance to the plexiglass request. It makes no sense. But there's that. Kama-Chameleon. That's what I titled this, because it's like, which one is going to show up? I hope not the whiny one. But there we are. And Mr. Clarkson, shout out to you, our executive producer. And he says, and on top of that, on top of everything happening today, virtual learning is still failing. So let's acknowledge that. I see more and more funny stuff from people capturing sound and audio from virtual classrooms inside the home. More and more stuff, and every week it's funnier and funnier and sadder and sadder. And lastly, before I get to my guest, there's this back and forth now, because I guess Kamala stated that the greatest rapper alive, or her favorite rapper alive, I don't know if she misspoke or they took her out of context. He said it was Tupac, so it's been released. I don't even know if this is real, but they say the Pence's people in the Trump campaign is saving tickets. 2 tickets. They left 2 tickets for Tupac for tonight's debate. I don't even know if that's a real story, but it's currently trending. So we'll talk about that and some more stuff a little bit later in the show. And we'll also be hearing from civil rights attorney Kevin Mincy out of Philadelphia to talk about Derek Chauvin's release on posting bail from jail out there in Minnesota. And also, we're going to say happy birthday to a real one a little bit later. But right now, I see that my guest is getting ready. All right, yeah, we'll go right to it. We don't like to do big introductions in here, but our political strategist for today to talk about voting and talk about tonight's debates and some other things. Please welcome to the program, Chanya Marie. Good to see you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Did I say it right?
You did.
Okay.
Great enunciation skills.
That's how you been?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. It's the season. For me, because I'm a political, this is like my Super Bowl.
Yes.
Any election is a Super Bowl, is a game. It's like, let's see who's going to win this thing. So, yes, I am very excited to be here and all of that good stuff.
Now, before we get into why, just give a little bit of background. You refer to yourself as a politico. What does that mean, and how did you get there?
Oh my! How much time do we have? But how did I get?
Yeah, we got it.
We got a good time. So basically, I'll just tell you the reason why they call me a political, because I love all things politics.
Mhm.
I subscribe to different party politics. It just depends on what's sort of going on, but I do have certain values that I hold based on a political party. So sometimes I'm a Democrat. I don't think I'm ever really a Republican, but I do identify with some of those values within that party. But I'll tend to be in the middle of being more independent in my thinking, because not everything the Democrats want to do I want to do and do I subscribe to. And so for that reason alone, most people call me political. And then I've written some books about how to be an advocate and how to run for office. And I've ran for office. So that puts me in the space of just being a political. You know, people want titles these days. And so being a political is like, oh, she's a political. They know they can come to you for information regarding politics. Right. Now, it has to be in the area in which you're interested in. And so that's kind of how you got there.
And you also, so you're authoring, but you also train people too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you train people. So if there's somebody say, hey, I want to run for a local election, I don't know much about it, you're the type of person that I will go to kind of.
Absolutely. I'm your go-to girl.
Okay. All right. So why are you so excited at tonight's debate and this season, this political climate, this season, knowing that all the craziness that we've been witnessing, throughout the summer and up until this month?
I'm a hopeless political. I just believe that government works when we work within it. I have my Chucks because these are in honor of Kamala, my red, white, and blue Chucks. So I'm super excited about that because I just believe that our government, when we look at the Constitution, when we look at what some other people, forefathers, wanted to do, but we are part of that process because of the Constitution, and we are citizens of these United States. I mean, it's our government. It's the government for the people, by the people. And so we have to be engaged. Even though we see what's going on at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, we still have to be involved and figure out how it is we can take back our government so that it represents all the people and not some of the people. And for that reason alone, I'm like, hey, we have an opportunity to knock it out of the park, get him out of there. The way you get rid of elected officials that you're not satisfied with is you show up at the polls and you vote them out. And so we know that this president has done a huge disservice in our country. And so we need to do what we need to do, which is get out to vote. We need to be mobilizing our mamas, our cousin in them, and everybody else that we know, our neighbors, telling them, come on, do this for somebody else. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for the little black girl, little brown girl, little white girl, whoever. Just do it for somebody else because it matters that we know what we see at 1600. We would never, ever want no one in our family acting like that, especially our children.
And nobody in our family would be able to get away with it either.
Pep. And everything else, right?
All right. So I'm going to throw a little bit of pessimism your way. All right. So with everything, all the confusion that's happening, distractions, deflections, do you think that this mobilized voting effort is going to go the way that it's supposed to go?
I mean, the numbers don't lie. And mobilizing people requires a real good ground game. I have looked at some of the numbers as it relates to the Republicans. I just don't really believe he has the support. And this is from other top RNC officials. They're not blasting it, that's not the news story, but they don't think he will win. But for us on the Democratic side and independents and everybody else in between, we got to ensure that we get people out to the polls. And even if they don't get out to the polls, they can early vote. You can host ballot parties. There are things in which you can do. But it is going to be about the ground game and making sure we have done enough to really encourage enough people to get out the vote. And they have to, go and do it.
Yeah. What are some of the efforts that you're familiar with locally that are being done? Because I heard you mention on your live the other day, voter parties.
Yeah, ballot parties. Ballot parties is an initiative that I started probably about a month or so ago because people are like, oh, I don't know who to vote for. I was like, are y'all serious? Y'all using that bull crap as an excuse as to why you will not vote? Nonsense. So what I said is that if you have a trusted resource, Lamont, you could be a trusted resource within your family. Brandon Hayes on here, he could be a trusted resource in his family. The thing is it's you bringing together a group of your friends and family members to say, let's see who's on the ballot. And then you share with them who you're voting for. They get to decide, but you can give them some reasons why. I say 1, 2, 3 reasons why I vote for this one, this one, this one. And then people are like, oh, okay, well, let me do a little bit more research for myself. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm telling you who I'm voting for, and then you get to decide. And so that is what the ballot parties is about. Just pull out the ballot for that state or for that district that you're in so you can see who's running. I also tell people the further you go down on the ballot, the more impact it has on your local community.
Explain that.
Okay, so when you're at the top of the ticket, you're thinking national. Mm-hmm. This is straight national politics. This is the president. This is your congressperson. This is your senator. Then you have your state. Your state people are still looking at issues throughout the state that impact you. But on the local level, this is your mayor who's going to talk about your taxes. Mm-hmm. This is your constable, your sheriff. It could be your, city council member who's changing ordinance about whether or not you can build a deck on the back of your house or change the variances of a street, whether or not you want to put, what is it called? Like garden or trees along the
tree line.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Zoning issues, Board of Appeals, your local city, all of that is local. And you can see that directly. You can see directly whether or not your sheriffs are making sure your community has public safety as their number one priority. Car thefts and things like that. You can see that when you know who those people are. And if you have an issue, you can feel free to reach out to them because you know who they are.
And you need to, but also to that point, you need to do that before election day. So you have an idea of who these people are, what they've done in the past and what they said they're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
and some people don't always have a track record.
Yeah.
In that sense, if people wanted to know, like, hey, they want to vote for Chanya, they may not always get a clear cut. Oh, how she got involved in politics. I mean, I can go and create a website and say, I did this, I served 10 million kids and all of that. But it's really going to be about you connecting with someone else that possibly know me, know my campaign. And so what we call it trusted voices in many communities. Who are the trusted voices in your community? For a long time, pastors were trusted voices. Mm-hmm. First lady in churches. You had your local mailman and postman. They were trusted voices. Your local police officers. I know they ain't feeling police officers now right now, but all of them ain't bad. Mm-hmm. But there are some bad apples in the bunch. And so you had these people, you had teachers who were trusted resources. You had librarians. And so now everyday people who have platforms like yours can be a trusted resource to say, I'm voting for Biden, and you putting out the information instead of telling people don't vote because there's no black plan or no plan for black people. You say, hey, I'm voting for these reasons. And here's the thing. The one thing, and I don't want to go on a tangent, but I have become dissatisfied with these people who are in other industries jumping on over into the political lane because they're not political, talking about there is not a black agenda. Mm. Well, you haven't gone to the person's website to see what the black agenda is. And not only that, if you have an idea in a black agenda, create your own damn agenda and you bring it to the table.
Yeah, speaking of table, I responded to Uncle Luke yesterday on Twitter, formerly of 2 Live Crew. And he put out a post it went viral. And he was saying, he spoke directly to the Harris Biden campaign. And he said, if y'all don't come to Florida and meet with, he named about 6 artists, Trick Daddy, Rick Ross, Uncle Luke, everybody that's important to the hip hop culture that's from Florida, that's influential. He said, if you don't come meet with us, you can pretty much write off Florida. You're going to lose Florida. And I added him. I responded back and added everybody hoping he would see it. I normally don't do this. But I was like, that's a valid point. But why don't you set the table, just like you said, and invite them? Like the position is valid. Sure. Those are people that if you want that young black vote, you got to get the people they identify with. Sure. But all this last minute talking that a lot, like you said, a lot of these entertainers are doing and just bluffing and selling wolf tickets. Well, if you don't do this, you're not going to get the black vote. If you can't identify tangibles, that might be a valid argument, but not less than 30 days out.
Right. And I tell people that about the census. We know the census happen every 10 years. And right when the census is about to happen, they talking about the dollars that went to media, black media. Like, don't y'all know this shit is going on every 10 years?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like, you waiting, you behind the 8 ball, if that makes any sense.
yeah.
Like, or is that, I don't know. Anyway, because I can't use references, I don't know. But they are off base and they need somebody within their community, within their circle to tell them, pump your brakes. Let me show you how this is done. And still, when I train thousands of people to be advocates and ambassadors to their members of Congress or elected official, it's not humanly possible. If every rapper came out from their community say, I want Biden or whatever, whoever the elected official to come to my district. That is why they have surrogates. That is why they have other trusted voices in the community who were district directors or regional directors or state directors to come and talk and carry the water and say, this is what we're going to do. It's not humanly possible. So for the rapper or the singer, can you go to everybody's house and thank them for the CD they bought from you? No. So don't expect that, unreasonably of your elected official. But there is a way in which I tell people you can get engaged. If for local and state and even Congress people, I have a plan called the 5-Minute Advocate. Okay. And I wrote a book about it. I say, I voted for you. I stood in line. You can ask them for a meeting. I only need 5 minutes. But guess what? When you have that damn 5 minutes, you need to have it from A to Z, what you want. But I also say you need to know what you want from A to Z. However, you need to stick to one issue. You got 5 minutes. So what's that central issue you want to talk about? Police, defunding the police, race and equity issues, reparations, housing, education. We be with all that talk in our community, but we're not putting together plans. So I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Y'all pulling me with that. Like, what's the plan? What do you want for your community?
And a way to flip that is if we brought 20 heavy hitters together, we got a whole hour of talk time. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, 20 times 5. You know what I'm saying? My math is bad, but we got a lot of talk time. So what's your opinion on these celebrity influencers being advocates or pushing advocacy? Do you think that that's a thing that could work, or is it a distraction?
Certainly. Nope. Here's the thing. If they on message,
okay,
it can work. You got to be on message. You got to know what the heck you're talking about. You have to go back and see. Here's the one thing, and I'm gonna get off this, but you invited me, so you want me to.
Hey, you on point. You running.
I'm giving it to you. Here's the thing. So when the campaign started, nobody wanted to really support Kamala. And I'm going to tell my story. I grew up in New Orleans. You guys know New Orleans is hood. And I just wrote this down today because I was talking to a guy and he said where he grew up at, they call it the rat hole. I say, well, damn. They call where I lived at the rat hole too, because I grew up in the middle of 2 projects where Lil Wayne and then Master P on each project. Calio and Melphamine.
Yeah, Melphamine. Yeah.
Melphamine. Calio is Master P.
Yeah.
Melphamine is Lil Wayne, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in the center of that, not in the projects, but my grandfather owned a home. And they call that community a rat hole. And my point of saying that is that people don't realize that when I was growing up in the 90s, I saw the boys on the corner. I knew they didn't have no summer jobs and all. They were selling drugs, right? They were doing everything they could to make a little money, to be on, it's Fleek now, but they were trying to stunt. Yeah. Right back in the day. So they were doing all of this stuff. And at that time, I was a young girl in school. And I was like, well, damn, can I get from A to Z without getting shot? Can I get from A to Z without somebody trying to touch my butt or, touch me inappropriately, right? I needed the criminal justice system and somebody to get them off the streets because they were impacting me in a way that I was like, well, is this all there is to New Orleans, to where I live? Is this all? Like drugs, having babies? Like, seriously, that's what I was in the middle of. Right. So when they did the crime bill back in the 90s, everybody was for that. Right. And if you was directly impacted by it, you definitely was for the crime bill. I went to college. I was able to skirt through all of the foolishness, but there were so many more whose dreams were deferred because of what they saw on the streets, because of the crime and the drug-infested community. Come on. Yeah. And that's just plain and simple. And that's why people have to understand, you cannot go after this woman or anyone in the legislature and talk about the crime bill. Now, what happened was these elected officials who we didn't elect because we didn't show up to the poll to elect the person that really was going to represent us, twisted it, and then put real harsh, let's say stipulations on sentences and things like that. Well, we were the ones who were mostly in jail. So of course we were mostly impacted. So I tell people, get away from me with the crime bill stuff. They had to do that back in the 90s. And the other thing is, Kamala was a prosecutor. Now, anybody that's on their job, you right here doing this DJ and live studio, if you didn't come on here and do the job that people paying you and supporting you to do, guess what, you'll be off air. If she's a prosecutor, she's supposed to prosecute people for the crimes that they committed. Well, damn, that's what you're supposed to do. So you can't fault her for doing her job. It's just like a person who's in jail, not in jail, but the warden who has to pull a lever to execute somebody. Does he really want to do that? No, but that is his job. That's what he signed up to do.
So to that point, no, that's a great point. Because that's really the conversation that you're going to see, all evening and up until the 4th is how a lot of Black people don't want to give her a pass for that. But it's also because they don't have the context that you just laid out. They're not willing to do the research. And they're not interested in the facts associated. I remember there was one guy who the internet was going nuts over, and they dropped his name, and he did a whole video. He was like, "No, I went to jail. She sent me to jail because I was selling dope, and I was out there shooting and destroying my community." But what I don't know is that she, maneuvered in such a way that I didn't get the max time that I could have got. So it's like, people, we don't take the time to do the research. To do the research. And to that point, this will be the last question for you. When they go to the polls, because we opened up talking about voting, do you think it's lazy or productive for the people who have not been informed or have not done the research to go and tick one side of the ballot all the way down? Or is that an actual thing that could produce a successful outcome?
Here's the thing. We know that we've been in college, some of us, so you know that when you do a multiple choice, you got to pick something.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You got to pick something. So you go for what you know. Many of us have been very conditioned into saying vote straight Democrat ticket. And the Republican Party, they vote straight Republican ticket too. Yeah, right. Nothing's wrong with that. It's something wrong with it when it really counts. You want to make sure you're not, it really depends. It can be a sign of laziness, but baby, guess what? Get to the poll. We need that vote. We need that number. So if you don't want to really do your research, go ahead and vote straight Democrat ticket because we need them numbers. Okay? I'm just saying. That's what we need now in this season. Next season, it might be we need some independents because the Democrats ain't do shit.
Right.
It could be in 2-3 years, we'll be like, okay, let's switch this thing up and give us the Republicans again. It just totally depends on the person preference. But I say, do not too many people bled and died for us to have the right to vote, for us to let it just fall by the wayside and not do anything about it. So I encourage and I implore with people, young people particularly, like we got to let them know that my vote has power.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? My vote is purpose driven. I'm voting because of a purpose. I have ownership in it. So I'm showing up. I'm doing a ballot party. I'm doing whatever I can. And at the end of the day, that W stands for want. I want my elected officials to listen to me. I want them to engage in my community. And then E is empower, engage in the process. It's not enough. Okay. It's not enough for us to sit on the sidelines. Voting, advocacy is not a one night stand. We know we don't like, I ain't going to even participate in a one night stand. But what I'm going to say is this, it's a relationship building process. That's why you got to engage in it. It's not like, oh my, I'm about to vote this one time and then you jump out and we're not seeing you for another 4 years. There are many other elections that are going on.
Yeah.
That you need to be engaged in as well. And so that's that. And then the R, what was my R? My R was, I don't know, run. It wasn't for Republican.
It's in the book. It's in your notes.
I know it's somewhere, but I can't remember. Y'all come up with your own power. What it means, your vote is powerful. And you cannot allow these people to take it away. Okay?
Right. There it is. You heard it there first. Our very own political strategist, Chanya Marie Johnson. Appreciate you. I love your energy. How can they get in contact with you to learn more about the 5-minute advocacy and the ballot parties?
Yeah, I say, hey, join me on Facebook under Chanya Marie. You can find me there, or you can find me under Chanya Speaks. This is my name. I'm probably one of few Chanyas in the world. So CHONYA Johnson.com is my website. But if you reach out to me and you're looking for more information, certainly feel free to, drop me a message in my inbox and I'll be in touch.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Next time I have you on, we break down the Electoral College.
Yeah, well,
the
powers that be don't want that system to go away just yet.
Yeah.
But somebody asked the question, how we can get rid of the electoral, get engaged in the process.
Yeah.
Start little committees like across the country. There are census complete count committees because they're trying to ensure that communities all across the U.S. are being counted. Start electoral college committees. Why we don't need this system any longer. There's a reason why, because they wanted elected officials who are running for those top offices, particularly president, to make sure that they were going to all of the states and not just saying, let me go to the states with the large numbers, like Florida, Ohio, California. They wanted to make sure that they were inclusive of all the states. So there's a reason for it. Doesn't mean it needs to stay here forever, but we got to get involved and engaged in the process.
There we go. And remember, the first half of the debate tonight, you wear the Chucks, but the second half, you got to put the Timbs on. Got to put the Timbs on.
I got to put the Timbs on? You got to tell me.
That's her move. You ain't see her come down the airplane steps with the Timbs?
What else, Timberlands?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get both, and I'm going to post a picture, put on.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk with you. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right. There it is. Excellent. I learned a lot. I hope you did too. We're going to keep this learning train going. I told you we got a packed show today. So in right now, without further ado, let me move on to our civil rights attorney out of Philadelphia, Kevin Missy. Welcome to the program.
What up, bro?
What's good with you? I'm going to take this down and put your billings up. There we go.
I thought you were going to talk about entry-level luxury, but I guess we're going to talk about Jared Chauvin instead.
We can do that as well. I don't even know what that is.
Maybe if we got time at the end.
I was at a high-end thrift store the other day. That's a thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah. It's all in your approach. That's all. But no, very quickly, I know you're a busy man. I woke this morning to see that Derek Chauvin is out. They said he posted bail, but I saw a headline. This is why I called you. I saw a headline that evaporated, and the rest of the day, I didn't see it no more. Mm-hmm. And they said he posted a non-cash bail.
Okay.
Right?
Non-cash?
Well, I forgot the word that they used. But
cash the bail bond, right? Looks like, when I looked at it, looked like he hired a bail bonds company, or someone on his behalf hired a bail bonds company to post bond. I don't want to cut you off in your question, but I can explain.
Well, then the second, the headlines I saw the rest of the day and on Twitter and the article that I read, it was like he had an option, right? So he took the one with options. So he could have posted 1.2 million, right, but he took the million with option. And part of the option was, you got to show up to every court date. We got to take your ammo and your guns from the crib. You can't leave the crib, blah, blah, blah. So there's a couple questions. What is a non-cash bail bond? And why would he take that option versus the 1.2? Because it wasn't his money.
Right. So I would say that the first part, the non-cash bond, is like many jurisdictions, they allow you to post bond with a bail bonds company. So a bail bonds company is really someone that stands in place of you at bail. So essentially, this Chauvin needed to post $100,000 in cash to meet $1 million bail. And so what a bail bonds will do, that's 10% of what.
Right.
What a bail bonds do would be like, look, I'll charge you 7%. You give me, X amount of dollars down, and then they're making monthly payments, and then ultimately paying, more than what the bail bonds company will put up. Bail bonds company say, okay, cool, you gave me, $7,000, and there's a surety of, your property or whatever to back up the fact that if he disappears,
okay,
I'll be able to come in and get my cash, right? Because when you're standing in for bail, you're basically saying if this person doesn't show up, I'm going to pay the $1 million sued out bail for this person who failed to appear. And so you want to make sure that you're going to have something that can back up that note that you're writing. It's just like getting a loan.
Right.
And so that's essentially what somebody on behalf of Chauvin did. Now Minnesota doesn't publish the information of who posts the bond through the bail bonds company.
Okay.
Private company. So they don't have to give up that type of information. So the bail bonds company is on the hook for the bail. Some group, person, individual ended up giving that money to a bail bonds company and having them post bail.
Yeah, because that would make the most sense for you to maintain your privacy
Right.
Because good, and it's only, and I say only 100,000 because there are some groups that were raising money for him on Facebook instantly. So
yeah. But they only raised like $4,000 or $5,000. Like there wasn't a whole lot of support for that. So
really,
at least some of the Twitter articles that I read. I mean,
okay,
my thing is, I mean, and Twitter is considered a source, but
right.
He was going to get out as soon as he could raise that money, and it took him all this time to get that money to pay it. Like there ain't no strategy or there's no reason to sit in jail chilling. I mean, I guess you're getting time credit, but for someone like Chauvin who's facing the charges he is, like you don't want time credit. You want to win and you want to get out. So
what do you think about the fact that early on his wife like filed for divorce and asked for the house? Do you think that was a move that set up this move?
Well, I think that's a couple things. I mean, he's also charged with tax evasion. And so that's a way for her, hopefully, maybe, to be able to protect some of their assets. So when I looked at the articles and they were talking about the assets that they have, a second home in Florida, there's like, some other, entry-level luxury items that they have or whatever.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
And so, she's trying to shield herself from that liability that he's not going to face for underreporting his income for making something like $100,000 a year as like a side security guy.
Right.
So in that situation where it looks like obviously it's looking bad for him, even in the best case scenario, maybe he does some years in jail, and maybe he doesn't do 20 or 30, but maybe he does some years in jail. So this frees her up to be able to try and protect some of the assets. Now maybe there is true marital discord, and maybe she really don't like him, but it's definitely a convenient time to file. Yeah,
right. And you would think, it struck me as weird because I was like, in these circumstances, you would think that she'll ride it out at least now because that whole thing about the wife can't testify if he came home and said some things or did some things, but as an ex-wife, she could.
Well, that's mostly a federal court protection. Like, a lot of states don't really have that marital privilege. Although it's not likely that you're going to force someone's wife to come in and testify, but I really think that's a money grab to me. He's on his own clearly on this criminal defense, and obviously he's got some wealthy backers who are willing to put up cash for at least his bail. And I'm sure he won't be represented by the public defender's office in Minnesota.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it's a classic move by those folks. They always going to protect the money, man.
Yeah, and I feel like he's in position now. Now that I'm hearing all of this stuff, he might even be the one that takes the fall out of everybody that won't. He might be the one that for the whole summer, the summer 2020 will come down on his head, and he'll take that fall. But John Watson says dollar bet that he gets convicted and sentenced on the tax evasion and doesn't do a day for murder. Incredible.
I think there's a good possibility he could get convicted of third degree reckless killing, and so I will take that bet. With Mr. Watson, and I will take his dollar with no impunity.
Yeah, but it might give him time served. So yeah, I might have to push on that one.
Exactly.
So I didn't read the article that you read. What are the entry level?
Now entry level luxury, man, is why I think Ruth Chris is trending today, man, because people call Ruth Chris entry level luxury as far as a restaurant.
Oh, I missed that one.
Couldn't really argue.
I mean, but that's about right though.
I think it just depends on the location that you go to. I think any of these, like if you go to maybe the flagship Ruth's Chris, maybe it's super tight on the water somewhere or whatever. Yeah. But like you could go to the one here in Philadelphia is just like, I mean, real regular. Like it might as well be a Tuesday.
But I gotta be on the other side of that. I feel like it's at what stage in life you're in.
Oh, that's fair.
Because if steaks was a thing to me, I thought steaks was rich people food. When I was young, until I started eating them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's luxury. Like at the beginning, I think steaks are luxury. You'd be like, no, man, Ruth Chris, that's where it's at. I mean, it is. For the long time, I didn't know Red Lobster was a cheap restaurant. For the longest, I used to love Red Lobster, and everybody right now giving me judgment and scrutiny. Who didn't?
You everybody did. Everybody
Of course. It was an occasion when you went there.
Yeah.
I'd never been to Ruth's Chris until I was a grown adult.
Yes, that's my point. Yeah, so that is entry level luxury. There's a lot
entry level. Like when I was like, oh damn, Ruth Chris, it's the shit. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, any place to me before I really got the hang of it and started hanging with professional people with jobs. I didn't realize, it was weird to me that you order your side separate family style. I was like, who's doing that?
A cart. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa. I don't got
get
no
out of
food on
here.
this plate with this
It
meat.
should come with the meal. It should come with the meal. But no, back to before I let you go, back to Chauvin. So why do you think he picked that second option that had all those restrictions? Because he went the one he can afford, or
Exactly, man. The as soon as he got to that $100,000 number, he's like, I don't care if I can't be a cop no more. I don't care if I can't carry my gun. He's white. He's a white man. He's safe. He don't need a gun. He's good, man. So as soon as he got that money, he put it up and popped out of jail, man. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, there it is. Anything else exciting that you're working on? Weird, crazy since the last time?
Nothing weird, man, but quietly creeping down there in the DC, man. We just opened up a little office. We got some business down there, man. So some things are percolating, man.
Wait a minute, wait. You got to slow walk that. You just threw that out there. Who's we? The firm?
The firm. We got a little office in Washington now. Like we're taking selective. We're being real selective.
Okay, selective with the location. What does that mean? You want to be close to crime, or like how does that work?
With the cases, meaning like I don't have a whole lot of time to be making extra trips down to DC for your shoplifting cases.
Got it. Right.
You know what I mean? But like if something serious happens, then like we'll come down there and do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's major, man. Round of applause for that. Okay. What the firm? Mincy Fitzross.
Mincy Fitzpatrick Ross. The website is mincyfitzross.com. So check us out, man. Civil rights, personal injury. We do a little medical malpractice. We do a whole lot of stuff, man. So hit us up.
That's dope. What's the the timetable for like being up and running in this area?
We got an office down there now, 1300 I Street. Just open it up. So I mean, look, duty calls, then we'll come running.
Okay.
That's it.
That's what's up, man. I didn't even know, man. That's big. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna do some lives, you know what I mean, from out front of Judiciary Square, just because of the name.
I like it.
Because of the name. All right, I appreciate it, Jack.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Take care.
Good news, man. Look at that. For all your legal needs, well, civil rights legal needs, with a real kind of legal needs. Well, y'all can hash that out. MincyFitzross.com. There it is. All right, let me take this down. Hey, man, a lot going on. These debates, man, I told myself, I told myself last week that I was not going to watch the Trump joint, but it's like, the first minute they had me. And so they drew me in for the next hour and a half. And tonight, I really feel like, again, I don't want to watch. I feel like I have nothing to gain. It's nothing that's going to be new, but now I feel like it's part of history. I have to, and I gotta see what level of blackness Kama-Chameleon is going to be on, and then I also got to see what type of fuck shit, if you will, Pence is going to be on, because he going to do it. They're going to try to do decorum and protocol because there was none last time, but I feel like there's going to be some moments. They're not going to be as dramatic, but I feel like Black Twitter and Black people are going to make them dramatic, if that's a thing. But yeah, man, I'd love to hear y'all opinion on it, man. If anybody want to jump on, let me throw this out there. Here is our Skype. I'll bring you on the show. Let's go live with the exclamation point. You'll see our picture there. And also, give us a call. We got one phone line. There's the number right there. We talk about tonight's debates. Speaking of propaganda, let's see if I can pull this up. So we talked about the Tupac briefly, and so I guess Tupac started trending, and they started playing some clips online. And I thought this one really stood out to me. Said Tupac was a prophet, as we all know. Even if you ain't a fan, he was a smart one. So I thought this clip was dope. He sat down with Sway from Rikers Island way back, and he was just talking about the political parties as gangs. All right, so let me hit this real quick. Tupac show cool, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for it. I think gangs can be positive. It just has to be organized, and it has to stay away from being self-destructive to being self-productive. I think this country was built on gangs. I think this country still is run on gangs, Republicans, Democrats. the police department, the FBI, the CIA. Those are gangs. You know what I mean? The correctional officers. I had a correctional officer tell me straight up, we the biggest gang in New York State. Straight up. You know what I mean? I'm going to get a lot of flack for it. I think gangs can be positive.
That's real. And it's just who that you rapping. That's basically what it's coming down to. And now things are so polarized. I saw some if you get a chance, man, the Vice channel, watch their evening programming if you get a chance. One thing I would like you to watch is called Fringe Nation. It was a special, it might have, I don't know if it was a one-off or if it's a series, but Fringe Nation, incredible. They talked about Portland and Antifa and what it actually is and what everybody thinks it is. And it was so wild. It's an hour-long program. They talked to Jim Jordan. They talked to people on the right, people on the left. They was taking live gunfire. The reporter was taking live gunfire in the middle of the street. And throughout the whole episode, he got to the end of the 60-minute episode, and you still really didn't have a clear understanding of what Antifa was and who they are. Not even when he sat down with Jim Jordan from Ohio in his office, the congressman, Republican congressman who you see all the time starting shit on Capitol Hill. He couldn't even really explain it. And so the one guy who represented being Antifa, not the organization, but the mindset, much like, I'll come back to that. But the mindset, he was like, it's just anti-fascist. If you don't believe in serving under a fascist government, then you're anti that government. And you're anti-fascist or anti-fascism, fascism, then you're Antifa. And I was like, okay, that makes sense on the surface. But I ain't going to be out there with, bricks and water bottles clashing with the police. And that's what the reporter said. He said it while I was thinking it. And he was like, you don't have to be. He said, you can fight the government at many different levels. And I was like, huh. I was like, damn, that's a little layered. I really pick that apart. But anyway, Fringe Nation. And the second thing is Vice News Tonight. Vice News Tonight. That's where I get my news now. And just their breakdowns of everything. Like even last night, man, what I was saying about the gangs. I had a point. Things right now are so polarizing. Where you used to could kind of agree to disagree, be on one side, work together with the other side. It's like that's completely non-existent now. Completely non-existent. They went and he went out to these Trump rallies that they're having every weekend in the South, in the Southwest. They're having big parties called the Trump Train. They get out the boats, the big 4x4s, the motorcycles, and they literally go in caravans around these towns in every major and minor city in the South and the Southwest. Every weekend. We don't really see it because we not on those platforms where that's being fed to us, the social dilemma. But it was wild because he went out on a boat with his family, and the dude he was like, well, what's your take on the mask? And the husband, the father, whatever, he was like, hey man, you do what you want to do. You on my boat right now, you wearing a mask, I'm not, but I ain't tripping off that. And then the wife was like, yeah, we're not dying. She said, it's not a thing for us. And he was like, what do you mean? He was like, we're not the ones dying from it. I was like, ah. And then he went and talked to like 12, 15 other people. One lady was like, it was a young girl. She had the flag. She had a big supersized flag. She had all this Trump stuff on. And he was just breaking her down point for point. He was like, you just said that X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. She was like, yeah. He was like, that's not true. She said, well, it doesn't matter. I believe in the people that are telling me what they're telling me. He was like, even if they're not telling you the truth. And she was like, yeah, that's gang mentality. Tupac was right. You were right. That's gang mentality, period. Point blank. There's no other way to code it. Amazing. All right. I just want to say the Vice News Tonight, every night at 11 o'clock, is great programming. I don't even know who they are, who backs them. All right, so let me show you this, and we'll head on out of here. We got to celebrate the birthday of a real one. Let's see if I can go to this. So I get these messages, right? I know if y'all get them too. I don't know how I got on these databases. What's the plural of databases? Data by? I don't know how I got on these data by. Make sure y'all can see the right thing on the screen. But around election time, you get the the messages, hey, Lamont, Like the debates are on tonight. We could use your support. You know, what do you think about? So I posted an exchange that I had. Oh, where'd it go at? Oh, here it go. All right. So they hit me out the blue. All right, let's watch together. It's a text. It's just a text, but I thought it was funny. I had time today. I was bored. So they sent me the text. I'm gonna walk y'all through it and my responses. All right, so yeah. So she was like, "Hi, Lamont." I'm gonna do it in what I think is her voice. "I'm Emma with the Democrats." Now, first of all, that just sounds dumb. What is this, a bot? Are these the Russians? Is this AI? Like, who talks like this? "I'm Emma with the Democrats." Again, gang. Like, what? That's your group? That's your affiliation? "I'm excited to cheer on Kamala Harris in the VP debate tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Will you be watching too?" Now, at this point, I thought it was a real person. I said, being an asshole, I said, "Will Kanye's vice president be included?" The response was, "Not as far as I know." I was like, okay, now you sounding like Alexa with the generic ass response. So I went to Google. I was like, all right, let me play around a little bit, see who's the Libertarian, who's the Freedom Party, who's the Green Party. I was like, what about Jeremy Spike Cohen, Libertarian? The response was, "I believe Kamala Harris and Mike Pence will be the only participants in tonight's debate. Do you plan to watch?" So again, I said, no Angela Nicole Walker from the Green Party? What y'all on, fam? And then I went in because they took a minute to respond. So I said, "I watch it if everybody was represented. Doesn't seem fair if they not. Will they be discussing a black agenda or actual tangibles for the foundational black Americans?" I had to go, you know what I mean? I had to go to Tariq Nasheed with it, talk about them tangibles. I had to go Ice Cube, T.I. with a plan at. So the response was from this BS number, "No worries. I understand your decision and position." First of all, I don't know if I really stated a decision and a position. But anyway, as you know, this election is super important. We need your help making sure your community is ready to vote. We use the Vote Yo app to easily reach friends. At this time, I had to change the voice because now I'm hearing it different. Easily reach friends and family from home. Will you sign up for a training session? And I was like, will you answer my question? And guess what? No answer. Wait a minute. Let me see. Did they answer? Oh, let's check this live. Let's go live to the phone. I was like, y'all ain't shit. Oh, here we go. Oh. So I said, will you answer my question? They said, "Sorry, Lamont." It got personal again. "I unfortunately don't know the details about what they will discuss tonight. Can I answer any questions you may have about Joe Biden's positions?" That's when I thought it was AI, because I was like, I already stated my question. Like, are they talking about black shit tonight? You know what I'm saying? I know the answer. I just wanted to see how you was going to say it. I know the answer. But yeah, man, it's a wild time. It's a wild time. I was like, first of all, how y'all get my number? That's the real question. I don't remember donating to nobody in the last 5 years. But anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that time. Oh, the awesome show. Chanya Marie, 5 minutes of advocacy. Kevin Mincy, civil rights attorney. Awesome stuff, man. We learned a lot, man. I hope y'all can take it as a shout out to Brandon Hayes too today. I actually got a chance to meet that brother, man. Thanks for supporting all the moves we make here on the show. That's funny. John Watson says, it's weird. I asked her for a different set of questions, and now she and I have dinner plans for the weekend. Be careful, chat. Be careful. Bring your own drinks and your utensils. You don't know what's going on out here, man. Was it the same name? If it's the same name, they on shenanigans, man. They're doing way too much. All right, meanwhile, we'd like to leave on a lesson and hear a word from an elder. But today is a special occasion because our resident elder, is celebrating a birthday today. And this young gentleman, very pivotal, very important, very influential in shaping who I am as a broadcaster today and as a person. I grew up watching this individual and just from afar. And yeah, so he's got a special message for y'all. Let me set him up right quick. We'd like to leave on a lesson and hear a word from an elder. in a segment I like to call Hi Dad.
Happy everyday, brothers and sisters. This is Alpha Papa with today's reflection. Today is a reflective day. I am thankful that I am able to reflect on my 7+ decades on this earth and share with my wife and 3 young adult children. To my nieces, nephews, cousins, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, and friends who are family also. A shout out to all of you. My journey, my mother once stated that I am not a trip, but a journey. My journey is not complete. However, I am documenting my life's experiences and our family story for the family. As you well know, that I celebrate the entire month of October. But today is the actual date of my arrival on the scene. Thank you for the email, phone, and Facebook hugs. Some of you can really sing. My oldest son sang the Stevie Wonder version of Happy Birthday early this morning. Again, thanks to everyone. Peace and blessings to all. Alpha Papa.
That's what's up. Happy birthday to a real one, Alpha Papa. Funny story. I do believe to give y'all some context, I do believe the birth year is 43. So yeah. But it's funny. I saw somebody. Oh, that was Kana. Happy birthday, Sky King. So right. So coming up, right. So I knew. You know some things about your parents, and then you learn more things when you get older that explain the other things that you thought you knew, right? So I had seen pictures in yearbooks. He played basketball, high school, college, whatever, and it had Sky King in quotation marks next to it. So that was his nickname. It was a basketball nickname. And growing up, I'm always thinking, like, shoot, they're going to call me Sky King too. I'm thinking, I was like, when I get older, I'm going to have hops. I'm be able to jump out the gym like Sky King. You know what I'm saying? Like Sky, you know what I'm saying? And then I thought that was a thing, right? I never really asked the explanation. I just assumed, that's why as a kid, you can't assume. I was like, Sky King, this is a jump. Now, I never could jump. And I was mad, when you reach that age where you're just not going to grow no more. And I was like, I don't have no ups, no hops. And I remember I got older years later after, my basketball career wound down. And I went and talked to Pops. And I was like, hey, what? So, I seen the pictures or whatever. You're not really, you at the top of your jump shot, but you're not really off the ground. Like, you ain't really had no ups either. He's like, nah. And I was like, okay, so my lack of jumping ability is hereditary. I'll take that. But why they call you Sky King? And and then somebody else in the room, not gonna snitch, was like, oh, nah, that's because whenever he came around, he was sky high. Hilarious. I was like, how you play basketball? Anyway, there's that. So kids, when you get older and you talk to your old heads, man, make sure you ask this. Every story had like double meanings. Find out that second meaning, man, because you might have been retelling the wrong story for the wrong reason. All right, there it is, folks. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today, man. Great show. All because of you. Can't do anything without you. We are 100% viewer supported by people like you, and I appreciate you for tuning in. And, man, it's packed. We got to get ready for this debate, so I'm going to go get ready, get the popcorn, whatever, make the lasagna, you pour the drink up. I might even take a real nap or whatever. Roland Martin was standing by with some analysis and some commentary. But I was like, nah, we'll wait, and we'll try to get you on another time. Time is precious. All right, so I appreciate y'all, man. We'll see y'all back here tomorrow, or Lord willing, 6 o'clock p.m. Enjoy. Be safe.